for a mineral fossil crystal gem and jewelry show. So let's check it out. So I went last year, and so far I already noticed when I walk in, it's not as much vendors as they had last year. And they took up so much more room and so much more space. I can already tell that they sectioned off the place a little bit, so you know that it's not as much vendors. And this time, the setup seems like when you're entering, it's all the things that I saw in the back last year is now in the front. So it's like a little shift of way of the organization, and it's also a lot less people and a lot less vendors. So I actually went on a Friday. So because we went on a Friday, people are still working. So it was very empty. It actually made it easier for me to film because it was empty. And I think that was the way to go. Last year, when I went, I think I went on a Saturday and it was really crowded and I was bumping into all different people and I had to go around people so that I could actually film some of the things. But so far, I'm seeing the similar things as last year. So they had the Tibetan bowls, the thangkas, the same companies. And I've noticed even the companies brought less than they did before. Maybe they're not expecting a lot of people, so they didn't bring out much. And it's possible it could just be that it's a Friday and they're going to bring everything out tomorrow. I noticed those pictures in the back that I just saw. Those were from a famous artist, I think, in Kaimiki, and I can't recall her name, but I remember those styles of paintings. So one thing here I noticed there's a lot of also is a lot of those crystal trees, but they're just made differently. Some of are made a little more flimsy, and some are made with a stronger base, depending on the vendor. So this vendor here, she has like several tables and it's all trinkets, small pieces, like more, I want to say more like fad crystals, meaning like, people would buy because it's a trend. More teenagers would buy. And then I came across some of these other ones, like some fossils and some really raw, different things here, like this dinosaur poop. And it just goes on and on, like endless amounts of tumblestones. So I'm not one that usually collects tumblestones. I know people that do, and they just like carrying them in their bag, and they have like pouches of them. But I like the raw crystals, and somewhere I can actually display on my shelf, but not the really expensive ones, but kind of mini size, nice ones. So I have to remind myself to keep looking under the table as well because they also have crystals under the table, different spheres and these are cute. These are made and they have like little turtles on them. I like when they make crystals like these geodes where it has like a little bowl shape to it because you can use it to charge your crystals on it as well. Here's more tumblestones. And right there in the back is that indigo gabbro. I just heard about that through a post somebody made recently. It's actually not easy to find, and the price is kind of pricey, but over here it wasn't bad. I actually should have gotten some, but I didn't. And they also made them in points as well, crystal points. And then this guy is interesting. He makes a jewelry, So I noticed he had some jewelry here and I have some really nice ones. There's this lotus one I see in the middle there. I didn't get a chance to ask him what his story was. And this is the vendor that was here last year. I think they had pretty big jewelry, if you notice the ones in the back, like the bracelets. Everything was very chunky, but you know the quality is really good. It's a very heavy. And then some of these are not gemstones. I'm not sure what they are, but it is nice. Now, in this display, you're going to notice that the sound is turned down a little bit because they started to play some really loud music, and I didn't want it to affect, um, how YouTube is really against certain types of musics that are copyrighted. So I kind of turned it down. A lot of different pendants. But I what I look for is pendants with a different type of settings that I don't see often. Settings like with not just a teardrop, but maybe like a 3 tier. But they didn't have much of those. They had a lot of rings, but it was all simple settings. And like I said, these are different crystal trees that I saw as well. And the base is a little bit different from the last one. And then if anybody wanted to buy bead bracelets, but I have so much beads at home. But I just did a little walkthrough. So here's some bigger rings.
This is so light.
72.
70.
Oh, thank you.
Nice, right?
But definitely a lot of variety. The prices were pretty reasonable. Because some of them, even if they were still priced at $60, and like these jewelry here, like in big chunks, but you can tell the quality is really good. So even if it sounds expensive, it would have been probably $120 to $200. So here's some more jewelry. And I was surprised. I saw Moldavite there, and I was surprised that it's not in a case or anything like that. And this vendor is known for a lot of turquoise, and they have that, country vibe to it, like that Western vibe. And they have a lot of Indian stuff as well, and big, bulky jewelry, but nice to look at. These guys were definitely here last year too. I remember them.
I don't think I have that one in, but why are the bands?
Yeah, I see like those bracelets as well, kind of chunky, a little bit on the bigger side. And then I think this is the same vendor. They have like a nice display on the walls as well of all their big jewelry. Yeah, this is the one. So this is definitely a little too big, but nice style. And then here's some more, I want to say, raw crystals, beautiful colors. Look at that. So shiny, smoky quartz. So I saw this crystal. It looks really interesting. It's like two different crystals growing together. I took a picture of that sign right there. Specular, right? And quartz crystal. So it's those two together. It has this really weird looking um, formation, but very interesting. And then you got your skulls, your totems, and they had a lot of that all around as well. So these are for like maybe those people that really buy for their retail shop, you know.
Ooh, look at the top.
Now this vendor has like bins and bins of these small little trinkets that run from about $3, $2, $5, around that range.
That would be cool. That'd be so cool.
The quality, you can tell it's not as
I know,
good,
right?
but it's more like trendy pendants. So if you like the trendy pendants, sometimes we like symbolism and that and meanings with the crystals combinations. Those work as well. I was looking at these kind of different chakras on there. Resembles the different chakras, I mean. And then you have your pendants, and you have some bracelets. And yeah, the price did get a little bit higher on some of them. But yeah, these are more like the trendy stuff. Yeah. And I like both, you know. I like the trendy stuff, and then I also like the massive quality, heavy crystal pendants. So I like both
Oh
styles.
yeah, yeah, that's what. Okay, but you know what? It is there.
I thought that was
Because
kind of
mine is
cool.
also from this one,
Oh yeah,
but it's really good quality.
it is. It is.
And honestly, I've gotten my cartilage pierced twice before this one. So this one's
So you get $5 to $10.
oh, those are the little what are they?
Like jacks?
Yes, but it's a specific shape.
And then I love seeing all the same type of crystals all together, like so many of them all on one table. It just looks so cool. So this is like a whole bunch of amethyst. It's like little mini raw crystals of amethyst.
How you doing today? Pretty good.
And then last year they had these too, was these different roses with crystals, and like some of them you could put in your hair, some was to like just give away. And then you got your tumblestones again. And yeah, you notice how they have the different shapes, stars. So I kind of feel like this is more like for like the young teen vibe that is getting into crystals. And then this was nice. This whole display all on a table. And these vendors, they know what they're doing. They have the light shining on them. And then these are some of the crystal trees again, if you saw real short. And these were interesting. They're like points, but they're heavy and they look like soap bars, you know, like, or like gold bars, more like you pick them up and they're so heavy and solid. And they had like boxes and boxes of those. But nothing for me. I'm not really looking for anything. At this time, I have a lot of crystals already. I was trying to look for unique things or different things. And then this is like, I guess what, Halloween for Halloween. little shapes here and there. And all these small little totems again. I have a friend that collects some of these. Like they like the little totems. And don't mind me if the camera's kind of shaky. You know, last time I did the filming for 2023, and someone mentioned that my hands are very shaky. I didn't have a gimbal or anything. This time was even worse because I didn't have a gimbal. I didn't have something to even hold my phone. I was using my hand the whole time. And by the time I was done, my arm was sore. My shoulder was in pain. It was a last minute thing to go down to video.
Like it just feels so nice in like your palm. That like little in between. Ooh, I have an
And
ocean
so
basket
cute, these
that
little
looks
turtles.
very similar to this, except it's like yellow. I have this yellow and white ocean jasper that's just so cool.
And
Yellow
this
is
is like halfway through already, and it was still very empty. So it was nice going on a Friday.
wow, yeah, it is.
Oh, labradorite back there. I'm not a skull person, but I wonder what people do with that. Like, I guess it's pretty. This is interesting to have all this malachite all on one part of the table.
Before COVID, we could.
You can tell like all the vendors, they all have this one specialty item that they can get, where they're from. And they're popular or known for that specialty item, like this company right there. And then here it looks like looks like epidote. And I'm so drawn to this crystal. I don't know why, but I am. And I noticed that all of them look so very different in its own way. Some are very shiny, some has some crystals in there, some are very raw, some are very matte. But I'm always drawn to them. One of my friends says that that's the crystal you use to manifest things, but you have to be in a good space when you manifest it because it works. Yeah, it was epidote. And here's some pendants and some more rings. And then this is the vendor. It looks like this vendor, I want to say, is more like a Chinatown vendor. And I think she is locally in Hawaii as well. But that's all I got for 2024. Well, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and in the comments below, tell me some of your favorite crystals and why.